Foo Fighters have returned from their year-long hiatus with a brand new drummer. We're going to talk about who it is and the fans that are still ever-long haters today on
The Jesse Lee Show. Oh, oh. The Jesse Lee Show. Oh, oh. The Jesse Lee Show. Oh, oh. The Jesse Lee Show. Jesse Lee Show.
Hey, it's me, Jesse Lee, aka Music News Daddy. Thank you so much for pressing play on the podcast today. Wherever you're consuming this at, whether it be YouTube, Spotify, please find that follow button, find that subscribe button, and bang your head on that button, okay? Today we're talking about why does everyone hate the Foo Fighters? That's not the main topic of the story, obviously. We're talking about the Foo Fighters have made their grand comeback. They're finally back in business, but the reaction's been a little mixed here. Last year, Foo Fighters frontman Dave Grohl revealed via a Notes app apology on social media that he unfortunately fathered a child outside of his marriage, which is, of course, a bummer here. Fans were not stoked to hear this news. They didn't like hearing about, Dave Grohl putting his monkey wrench in someone else's toolbox, and there was a big backlash. I'm sure you remember this story from last year. It was around this time last year. So after that, the band starts canceling things. They cancel their festival appearances. They allegedly cancel a whole 2025 summer tour. There's no tour actually announced, but allegedly there was one in the works, and they decided to pull the plug on it. Dave Grohl is still popping up. He's showing up at the homeless shelters, feeding people meals, barbecuing meats, which is something he was doing before. I mean, he was always a big philanthropist, He gave back to the people, okay? That's what I'm getting at. And then he was also showing up doing the Nirvana gig here and there. There was like 2 different times he showed up with Chris Novoselic and did a Nirvana reunion gig. One was with Post Malone at this award show. Then drummer Josh Freese, the Foo Fighters drummer Josh Freese, reveals that he's been fired from the band. He makes a post on his social media, says, "Hey, they let me go. I don't know why. I thought I was doing everything right. I think it has something to do with more management than the band themselves, but I'm out of here." A few weeks later, Josh Freese reveals that he's going back to Nine Inch Nails, which is a band that he was drumming in before. That left current Nine Inch Nails drummer Eli Rubin without a gig. The rumor heavily going around. The rumor innuendo was that Eli Rubin was actually going to Foo Fighters. So essentially, what people were thinking happened was that Nine Inch Nails and Foo Fighters, they just swap drummers, which I think more bands should be able to do that at the end of the year. You should be able to, like, instead of just making some boring Instagram post about letting someone go, there should be like a draft, or a trade every year. Like let's take an inventory of who we've got in our band. Now, during this time, they did release a new song. They did release today's song. It was released for the 30th year anniversary celebration of Foo Fighters. It didn't feel very Foo Fighters, It was a fine song. It was okay. It just didn't feel like a Foo Fighters song. It 100% did not feel like a comeback song. Then this past weekend, Foo Fighters announced that they're playing a surprise show in California in a club that only could hold 900 people. To get into this show, you gotta show up early. They encouraged you not to camp out and mess up traffic and screw up businesses. But of course, that's exactly what people did. So they played at this 900 capacity venue, and drummer Eli Rubin makes his grand debut, confirms all the wild speculation and rumors that Eli Rubin is in fact the new drummer for Foo Fighters, puts an end to the worst kept secret since Google admitting that they know what you'd be doing in incognito mode. He posted on his Instagram, "After keeping my head down for a couple wild months and throwing myself into the material, that first show was such an incredible release of energy. I've been taken back by all the positivity and support, and I just wanted to say thanks." The set list looked awesome too. I mean, it was full of hits. I shared the news about the comeback show on my TikTok and Instagram at Jesse Lee, and the comment section just got so negative so fast. Just a lot of people commenting things like, "Foo Fighters threatened to release new music. Foo Fighters threatened to come back. They should have stayed hiated. Mid-Fighters. Who cares?" A lot of who cares? Foo Fighters haven't released anything good in 20 years. A lot of stuff like that. And when Foo Fighters put out the graphic for this comeback show, they actually put on there, "No one hates us more than our fans." So they're in on the gag too a little bit. And obviously, this is a gross over-exaggeration. Not everyone hates Foo Fighters. But again, there's a lot of hate online for Foo Fighters. So where did all this hate come from? It cannot all just be from the baby mama drama, right? There are a lot of people out there that have done far, far worse things than, knocking up their side piece, and fans still love them and support their comeback. So I can't believe that everyone's crapping on him this much just because he made a really awful mistake and, did something that messed up his family. There's got to be more to it than that, right? Is it that the younger generation just has Foo Fighter fatigue? boutique. You know, growing up, Dave Grohl is kind of like the token rock star. You know, if you needed someone to rip a guitar solo at an award show and Slash was busy, you would just call Dave Grohl and the Foo Fighters, and they would show up and play your gig, your mainstream event. I know for me growing up, it felt like AC/DC was always kind of shoved down my throat, you know? I kind of developed a gag reflex for Marge Simpson screaming vocals over power chords, you know? But now I love AC/DC. Now, you know, the tide has totally turned for me. I'm a huge fan of AC/DC now, and I love Foo Fighters. You know, I have an Everlong tattoo, but I love Foo Fighters. I'm very excited for this new era of the band. I'm happy they're back. I'm happy they're making music again. But let me know what you think. Are you happy to have them back? Some other quick stories I want to get into. WWE superstar Rhea Ripley was killed on stage during an Ice Nine Kills show. Scripted, obviously. I guess I should probably mention that part. Rhea came out during their show at Silver Scream Con and had an on-stage fight with Art the Clown from the Terrifier franchise movies. Ripley has been a big fan of the Terrifier movies for a long time, and she shared, "I may have just lived my dream. Thank you, Silver Scream Con. Thank you, Ice Nine Kills, and everyone involved." We're definitely going to be seeing Rhea Ripley in the next Terrifier movie, right? Like, that's going to be happening. Also, Ice Nine Kills, you know? Yeah, Ice Nine Kills, horror, WWE, that's a good time for me anyway. Some very bummer news. At the Gates vocalist Tomas Lindberg has unfortunately passed away at the age of 52. He had been battling adenoid cystic carcinoma, a rare form of oral cancer, since late 2023. Lindberg actually revealed just a few weeks ago that he had recorded all the vocals for the brand new At the Gates album just one day before he had major mouth surgery. So that album is completely recorded, and I believe the band plans to release it at some point. Coachella announced their 2026 lineup, headlined by Justin Bieber, Sabrina Carpenter, and Karol G. They're also good on the bill. They got Turnstile, Drain, Hot Mulligan, Suicidal Tendencies. I need to know who the thrash fan is this booking Coachella gigs, okay? Because like last year, they had Megadeth scheduled to play Coachella. I say scheduled because they didn't actually get to play because of the storms that happened. They ended up canceling Coachella. But yeah, they had Megadeth last year, Suicidal Tendencies this year. Like, is there somebody who works for Coachella and like their uncle is just a big thrash fan, so they throw one of these bands on every year just to avoid an annoying conversation at Thanksgiving? Like, I know Uncle Dan's going to ask me why there's no thrash on the lineup this year. Is Suicidal Tendencies free? Yeah, all right. Is Anthrax doing anything this year? Can we put I don't want to hear from fucking Dan this week. Oh, also on this bill, they did say at the bottom of the graphic, it says bunker debut of Radiohead Kid A Mencia. Whatever the hell that means. Fans are speculating it could be a surprise set from the band Radiohead, because last year on the Coachella graphic, on the bottom, they had it listed Travis Scott designs a desert, and it ended up being just a performance from Travis Scott. So a lot of people think, hey, maybe Radiohead's doing the same. Others are saying this is just some kind of art exhibition for Radiohead. It's not actually them playing. Either way, Hot Mulligan's playing Coachella. That's a win. That's enough of a reason to go to Coachella. Aerosmith have announced their first new song in over a decade with Yungblud, none other than Yungblud. After teasing a secret that they had last week, they revealed this new song called My Only Angel. They shared a snippet of it. A true union of pouty-lipped singers in leather pants that are often shirtless, but no release date for My Only Angel yet. But this will be the first non-reissue or vault release from Aerosmith in over a decade. So if you've been hankering for some new Aerosmith, be on the lookout for that. Go pre-save that. I'm sure we'll get the release date on that soon. That's going to do it for today. I will, this is a shorter episode of the podcast, but maybe I'll pop back in again later this week and do a second one for the week. I don't know. Maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll do shorter episodes multiple times a week. Let me know if you like this format better, doing multiple episodes a week, but a little bit shorter, or if you prefer the big old mama jamma, the big old, the big banger, let me know how you feel. Give me your feedback down below. Also, be sure to join the Jesse Legion by banging your head on that follow button or that subscribe button. You can also find me at Jesse Lee on TikTok and Instagram and all the other socials as well. But above all else, be sure to share this podcast episode with somebody that doesn't suck. All right? Take it easy now, and bye-bye.
The Jesse Lee Show.